If you're not drooling right now, you may have some sort of a problem. Welcome everybody to Scott Cooks. Today, in our Ninja Combi, we're going to be doing a long, slow cook, 7 hours. So I'm starting this pretty early in the morning right now. And what we're going to do is something called braising. We're going to braise short ribs. Oh my God, yes, you've probably had them. You know what I'm talking about. What the heck is braising? Braising is simple. It means we're going to brown them with a dry heat. Okay, dry heat. And then we're going to cook them in something wet. All right, it's a French term, braisier, I think. But anyway, braising, we're going to brown them up with sear saute, and then we're going to cook them for 7 hours in a liquid. That's braising. Very simple. What are short ribs? You've gone to the store, you've seen beef ribs. They're kind of slight arc in the package. Those are beef ribs. But short ribs come from underneath of that arc. They're cut from the bottom of the rib cage. These short ribs are super muscular, lots of connective tissue, and pretty much no good unless you slow cook them. But when you slow cook them and you break down that connective tissue, you're going to get some of the best, juiciest, tenderest beef you may have ever had in your life, and that's what we're going to try to do today. Here are my short ribs, freshly butchered. You can see the fat. You can see the muscle running through them, and we need to break that down. So I've already salted the top half of these, and we're going to flip them and salt the bottom half, and we're going to get this thing started. Man, do they look good. Whatever you guys are going to season them with, make sure it's got salt in it. You need a good amount of salt for this slow cook for these to work properly. And there we go. Let's get them over ready for braising. Braising step 1, I should say. First step is preheating. All right, this is our Ninja Combi. Right, Ninja Combi, we will be using sear saute, so we need our lever in the top in the down position. Power up. Open door. Pan goes in the lower section. I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that. Leave door cracked about 1 inch. Scroll down to sear saute. Go for H4. Leave your door slightly open. Give this at least a 5-minute preheat. A quick preview of what's to come while we're preheating. You're going to need carrots, whole carrots preferably. Do it the French way. You're going to need some celery. Nice and fresh and crisp. You're going to need a yellow onion. I know you see me use a red onion a lot, but for this recipe, we're going with a sweet yellow. And some fresh thyme if you got it. If not, you can use the dried stuff. You'll also need a red wine, dry. It's pretty dry. It's also pretty cheap. I like cooking with it. You'll need some beef broth. You're going to need some cornstarch for thickening. And you're going to need a little tomato paste. I believe that's everything we're going to need. So we're going to do some chopping and cutting and stuff. But first we got to get these things seared. So we're finishing the preheat. Pan is hot. Preheat is over. Let's keep it hot. I got the door shut on the Combi. We go ahead with some olive oil. We're going to be doing a little searing. That's nice. Next in goes the short ribs. We're going to do approximately 3 minutes on each side. But that depends on your ribs, etc., etc. Depends on the factors. But the trick here is that we're going after browned on both sides. So you don't really need to set a timer. You just need to wait about 3 minutes and go under there and look. Don't forget, guys, that pan is smoking hot. Ooh, they're already searing in there just from the heat. So first thing we want to do is get our temperature up to 4, sear saute, and start. All the heat is coming from the bottom. This air fryer will not turn on in this phase, and I don't think you can hear it. I'll get my mic closer. But they are searing already. Searing doesn't mean burning, guys. We want a deep brown, but we don't want it burnt. Let's keep an eye on things, okay? 2.5 minutes. They are searing like crazy. Let's give them a quick check. I know I'm in front of the camera. Sorry about that. That's a good brown. We're going to flip them. That's a real good brown. I like it. So that means we need about 2.5 minutes. on the other side. Ah, and there I go again. I'm so used to closing the door. You have to leave the door slightly open. And anyway, about 2.5 minutes over here. And in the meanwhile, I'm over here peeling the carrots, cleaning everything up, and chopping all my vegetables. Now for part 2, which is meaning we cook it in a liquid. So I cut my vegetables in very large chunks. Why did I do that? Oh my gosh, Scott, I can't eat that. Well, after 7 hours, that's going to be perfectly edible and still enough left to eat. So I'm thinking 7 hours down the road, what will my vegetables look like? If I cut them too small, they'll be non-existent. We want to get the vegetables and everything else in the liquid. So let's get them from off the top of the meat. And we'll just move them downhill a little bit. All right, there we go. Now for that liquid part. All right, this is 32 ounces of beef broth. Use your favorite. Don't worry, the Ninja Combi is a pretty big sized pan. It'll hold it. We want to get that beef as far down in it as we can. There we go. 1.5 cups of red wine. It's going to give it that good flavor. That smells good. We'll save the rest to drink. About 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Don't stir with your spoon. You'll scratch your pan up. Just get it off. We'll get a nylon, silicone, or wood in there. A little thyme or whatever you want to put in it. Rosemary would be good. Thyme would be good. I'm going to put some thyme in there. And then we'll hold back on that cornstarch. We're going to use that and make a cornstarch paste after we get everything out of here at the end of 7 hours to thicken that gravy up. It'll be thick anyway, but we're going to thicken it up some more. And that's it. Don't forget this pan is still hot. Slow cook is on the same side as sear saute. It's just one below. We don't want high. We want low. Time. Well, we want at least 7 hours. I'm going to put on 8 hours. But 7 hours is about when I'm going to pull it. Welcome back. It's been 7 hours. And here we go. Right out of the combi, we're going to remove the meat and the vegetables. Just going to move those over to this bowl here. And then we're going to go thicken this sauce. Look at that short rib. Man, did that cook nice or what? Woo! This is going to be so flavorful, so tender. Like I said, we're going to pull our short ribs and all of our vegetables out. Stick them over in the bowl for a minute. Grab your favorite cornstarch. I like this brand. It's pretty good. You don't really need to do too much measuring with this. Get about 2 heaping spoonfuls. This is just a teaspoon. And we're going to make a paste with some cold water. And in we go. Now we're not looking to get it like a gravy, like a thick gravy. But we are definitely want to thicken this up some. Because, you know, that's pretty watery right there. So, all we're going to do is go back into the combi now. On sear saute high, we're going to bring it to a boil. And that will only take a second. Combi heats up really fast. Don't forget your gloves. And we've probably reduced that liquid by half. I can see the ring around the top. So it's already been reduced just from the slow cook. Does everyone remember how we sear saute? We crack the door open. Power up. Scroll back up. It was on slow cook. Scroll back up to sear saute. This time we are going to 5. I never go to 5. But we're going to 5 to finish this up. Ready? Go. Don't forget, leave the door open. You can leave the door all the way open if you want. I like to leave it cracked about 1 inch or so. As promised, I made some mashed potatoes in my Ninja Foodie. Didn't bother filming it. You've probably seen me make mashed potatoes a million times using the pressure cooker. some 82% butter fat butter, and milk. Whole vitamin D milk. That's all of the ingredients. So there's my mashed potatoes. Short ribs right on top. Kind of smash it down a little bit. Sprinkle some veggies around. And look at that. You know what? Let's make it better. So I've been working on that gravy for a little while, boiling it, thickening it up. Now, I don't want it thick like gravy, so don't expect that. But I did thicken it up quite a bit from its original form. There we go. And that is my braised short ribs in the Ninja Combi. If you're not drooling right now, you may have some sort of a problem. Make it look. There we go. I do believe that's perfectly cooked. All right, we're going to start off with just the meat by itself. Just as tender as I was hoping. Tiny hit of the wine. That's good. All right, let's get some of the potatoes, some of the gravy, a couple veggies on there, onion, celery. Yes. That is fantastic. And in case anybody was questioning my carrots, perfect. Not mushy, not hard, perfectly cooked. Well, that is it. That is braised short ribs in the Ninja Combi. I think that was fairly easy. It's something you definitely need to start ahead of time. Make sure your short ribs are thawed completely, and make sure that you let them. You don't have to let them come all the way to room temperature. That's kind of a myth. A lot of controversy about that, because the internal temperature to get to room temperature would take like 6 hours. So just leave them out for a few minutes. Get some salt and pepper on them. Let them sit for a few minutes, and then go ahead and start the braising. That's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, we do have some memberships now. If you want to help the channel out a little more, jump in with our memberships. Soon we'll be doing some live cooks for members and stuff like that. You get to see videos before other people. And that is everything I have to say. I'm going to go eat this. We'll see you later.